What is up everyone, and we are back with another guide about Phantasy Star Online 2. Today we are talking about the fastest ultimate booster farm currently in PSO2. For those of you who don't know, if you solo perform Darkness on Ultra Hard and get an S rank which requires a completion time of under 12 minutes and no deaths, you will get a rank reward for one ultimate booster. Then comes the Christmas UQ. This one also drops ultimate boosters but at an extremely low rate. I did 29 runs and only got one ultimate booster. Then there's Ultimate Quest that also gives you ultimate boosters as a drop but at an extremely low drop rate. Finally, there's the absolute fastest way to earn ultimate boosters, and that is with the new trigger quest Mining VR on Ultra Hard. This can be bought from the Rising Weapon Badge number 5 shop for 8 Rising Weapon Badges. If you wanted a too long didn't watch, then there's your answer. However, if you ever tried this as a public group, you will know how frustrating it is to run this disorganized. If you think for a second you can just team up with random people and expect to win, you are misinformed. So if you want ultimate boosters, that S8 Skyboon Dance or Nova Series 15-star battery weapon, then you need to watch the video thoroughly, because every single stage requires careful planning and knowledge about what to do and when to do it by the second. First, a huge shout out to everyone who helped me, my party members importantly, who ran this with me for about 4 to 6 hours and took the time to do a lot of failed runs so I can make this video, and now we only fail when no one listens because they believe Ultra Hard is the exact same as extremely hard and low leveled and low geared players. Look, we do not need you to have the best gear in the game, but you need to survive more than one hit, otherwise you won't contribute as much as everyone else, and one person can really ruin the whole run for everyone else, because a few seconds of mistakes can mean the tower is down and destroyed. Also a shout out to LXII who gave us information about why our towers die instantly. So let's get started. First and foremost, you need HP and defense. If you do not have around 1400 HP or are not an Étoile class or subclass, please do not run this as it requires everyone to play its part. Second thing to know is that ice is the absolute best element to use in this trigger. Ice freezes nearly everything and it will stop mobs in its tracks. Some mobs have a special freeze effect that freezes them to the floor for a few seconds, allowing you to attack them, and that freeze does not break through multiple attacks. Then there will be griffin bosses that spawn, and if you freeze them you can kill them easily. They do immense damage to the base, so it's best to freeze them and kill them as soon as possible. Third, everyone needs to gather crystals all the time. It is imperative that you reach 3,500 points before the start of stage 6, the final stage. That is because at 3,500 points, it unlocks another ability to base heal again. I say this again, use heal if you have it. This helps everyone out dramatically, and that is really key in getting S rank, which requires a total of 80% health throughout all of your towers. A rank is up to 40% health. However, I didn't get any B ranks when we got organized, so I'm not sure on that exact threshold. And C rank is barely passing. Ranks mean more ultimate boosters, but in reality it is based on RNG. However, ranks increase the likelihood of higher ultimate boosters. Here are my results. S rank is 0 through 7 ultimate boosters, A rank is 0 to 5, B is 0 to 4, and C is 0 to 2 ultimate boosters. Your results may vary. Before you start, you need to have some sort of organization because there are 3 different roles to play. Yes, the reason for these roles is because there are one-shot mechanics in Ultra Hard. If you don't do these roles, it is highly unlikely you will lose your towers randomly, and thus getting a failed trigger that nets you 0 ultimate boosters. So we want to do these roles so we get ultimate boosters. The first role is the absolute easiest but a critical role. I call this role the baseman. There are 3 bases, so 3 basemen. Their job is to stay at the base, gather crystals around you, call out for help, and kill the bombs that the boss throws on the bases. This is the main reason for this role. Some bosses throw bombs at the base, and if they explode, your tower will be one-shotted and dead. It only takes a few seconds for it to explode, so you need to stay with your base. Literally stay with your base. There have been a few runs where basemen run around to help a bit, only to see their base blow up. Seriously, stay with your base and only in the immediate area. If you have a freeze AoE, then it's highly recommended for you to be a baseman. A blown up tower doesn't mean a failed run, however it means you won't get S rank, and at the best you can only get A rank. The next and extremely vital role is what I call outfielders. There are 3 zones: left or blue base, middle or purple base, right or green base. Their job is another critical job because AIS and towers can kill your base within seconds. There are laser hits that hit everything and it's a piercing channeling shot. If you leave these up for a few seconds, your base will be gone or extremely hurt. As an outfielder, you need to drop whatever you're doing if an AIS or tower spawns and kill it immediately. It is extremely vital that you do this. You can also see the towers on the minimap as a red icon, so if you get better, you can help more often while also killing those towers. Lastly is everyone else. Your job is to roam about and go to spawns accordingly and help the basemen if they require help. If you do see a bomb at a base, switch to that target and kill it. And like I said before, it only takes a few seconds for it to blow up, so kill it immediately. On top of all of this, everyone needs to gather as much as possible. When you reach 3,500 points, you unlock the second heal and you can stop gathering altogether, then focus on just killing things. So before you start, in the waiting area, you need to figure out who is doing what and what role. And when you finally get the roles in place, you can finally start. Now don't exit the video yet, because throughout running this around 15 times, I learned every single stage and every important spawn. So keep watching to learn exactly how all of this takes place in each of the stages. The first stage is easy. In the beginning, gather crystals. There will be various middle spawns. It's a good idea to use AoE freeze in the middle to stop the mobs in its tracks. Nothing out of the ordinary, just kill the spawns, and at the end of the wave, go to the middle purple base and everyone groups up to buff up. Do this in a timely manner because you need to quickly go back to your positions and gather crystals. Basemen stay at base and gather, outfielders stay in the outfield. Stage 2. There will be a few spawns, however the most notable ones is a boss spawn and a ship spawn. The boss spawns in the outfield area in the blue or green zones. The ship spawns randomly in the field. The boss is Grands. Shoot the legs and break them for it to stop moving and then shoot its inside. Don't auto lock on its outside shields because you're going to do less damage. The ship is a stealth ship. It spawns extremely high in the sky and is indicated by a blue icon on the minimap. So you need to look at the minimap and call it out if you see it. Also call out the boss, like ship purple, ship blue, ship green, or boss blue, boss green, so it can indicate where the location is. After the boss and ship spawn, there will be a few random spawns, just kill those. Basemen stay at base and gather, outfielders stay in the outfield, however you can roam in your base zone as well because towers and AIS do not spawn in stage 1 and stage 2. Next is stage 3, and this is where it gets a little difficult and some unorganized teams fail. There will be spawns randomly in the outfield zone and barriers will start to appear. These barriers can be destroyed by damaging it. This first barrier spawns at 2 minutes and 5 seconds time left. Will be an X barrier that crosses the map. So between this time, the outfielders can roam in their respective zones. When the barrier spawns, shortly after, AIS will spawn and the bomb throwing boss will spawn as well. AIS will spawn behind in the outfield. Thus, the role of the outfielders are to shoot the AIS and its special rifle. You will see it as they are channeling up for an attack. There will be 3 to 4 AIS spawning, 2 to 3 in the back next to the outfielders, and 1 will be between the barriers, so the outfielders cannot hit those AISs. The job of everyone else is to attack these AIS before they shoot the special beam cannon. On top of that, the basemen need to keep a close eye on their base because this is when the bombs start to drop, and like I said before, these kill the bases within one shot. So keep an eye out on the time left because at 2 minutes and 5 seconds it gets a little hectic. Outfielders, aim for the AIS and outfielder, then shoot the boss. The spawn for the AIS is a little random, so feel free to roam about and help the other outfielders. Basemen, closely watch your base for bombs. Everyone else, kill the other AIS in between the barriers and destroy the barriers if you can, then try to kill the boss. Besides this, there are random spawns which, if you use ice and freeze them, That frees up time for you to help others, so I say again, use ice and freeze the enemy. Stage 4. Besides the outfielders, everyone needs to stay a little close to the bases because this is when massive amounts of mobs start to spawn. And I say again, freeze them as soon as possible because if not, they will rush the bases and give the basement a hard time. The outfielders will have a lot of towers start to spawn, so you need to stop whatever you're doing and focus on the towers and kill it if you see it. At 40 seconds left in stage 4, there will be a huge spawn of enemies close by. Then the Griffin boss will spawn. Its spawn location is random, so keep an eye out on it. Freeze this boss immediately, and if you don't, it will cause damage to your base, it does an AoE damage, and you only have 2 heals per person, so you need to save as much HP on your towers as possible. Just freeze it and kill it as soon as possible. By the end of stage 4, you need to look at your points. Around this time, if you still haven't got at least 2,000 points, you need to turn your focus on and gather a little bit better. Because at the end of stage 5, you need to have 3,500 points to unlock that second base heal for everybody. Stage 5. The first thing that spawns is a little swarm of beetles that deal low damage, so just AoE them and kill them. After that, an X barrier will spawn as well as a few towers. Outfielders, you need to focus on killing those towers in your respective areas. Basemen do the same thing you've been doing, and everyone else needs to kill mobs as they spawn and freeze them as soon as possible. At around 1 minute and 45 seconds time left, a line barrier will appear. Outfielders need to stay in their zones while trying to destroy that barrier at the same time. During this time, Ragnar will spawn and attach itself to one of the bases. When this happens, someone needs to use their burst on that base over and over again to protect it from further damage. If you didn't know, just talk to the terminal next to the base and select burst, or heal to use it. Shoot Ragnar's legs to make it fall off, then kill it. At around 1 minute left, a ship will spawn randomly. This becomes quite a hassle with barriers up because it may block your attack, so keep an eye out on the mini-map this time and locate the ship and kill it. The ship is stationary, so photon arcs like satellite cannon are very good against it. Also, keep an eye out on your points and try to get 3,500 points as soon as possible to unlock the second base heal. At the end of the stage, you need to heal everything you can because you're going to have no other time to do so. Use all of your heals unless your towers are at 100% health, which is highly unlikely. As with every stage, you need to go to the middle tower and buff up before the next stage. Stage 6, the final stage. Towers will spawn randomly in the outfield and in between each base, so kill these as soon as possible. After around 3 minutes left, AIS will spawn in the outfield, so kill those as well. A Ragnar boss will also spawn and attach itself to one of the bases, activate burst, and destroy its legs to kill it. There are also other boss spawns in the back throwing bombs at the towers, and a long range mini boss shooting everything from an extreme outfield location. So outfielders need to focus on AIS, then the Vibes Yuga, the bomb throwing boss, then that mini boss. Meanwhile, basemen keep an eye out on your base and kill the bombs, and everyone else just kill everything. At 2 minutes left, a Grand's boss will appear, so kill it by shooting its leg, then attack it by attacking its interior. A ship will also spawn shortly after. Call the ship out because it's very hectic at this point. The ship kills people in bursts, so it's wise to focus this as well, but it doesn't do a lot of damage to towers, but it only kills players. Meanwhile, outfielders need to still keep an eye out on other tower spawns. Always prioritize towers compared to ships. AIS and towers are similar in damage, so kill them both as soon as possible. Now things will start to die down for about 10 seconds and you have a few seconds of breathing room. However, at 1 minute and 10 seconds left, all hell breaks loose. There will be a grid barrier spawn which covers the whole map to the edge of the map, so the outfielders will be stuck out there unless you can jump over the wall or destroy it. If you are near the base, the barriers do not block the area to the other bases next to you, so don't worry about it. This is the point where you start to use your Dark Blast to fly over the walls and kill stuff because everything is now focused on the bases. There will be many mobs spawning rushing to the base. Freeze them. Freeze is the best element as I said multiple times, so freeze them away. The goal is to freeze or kill everything before time runs out. If they are frozen, you don't need to kill them, so you can focus on other enemies and call outs. There will also be Ragnar spawn, so activate burst barrier on that tower before the time runs out. When the time runs out, a red crystal will appear containing your hard-earned ultimate boosters if you're lucky, and hopefully a new Nova series and an S8 Skyboon dance. You don't need to kill the rest of the enemies as the match is already over, so destroy that red crystal and collect your earnings. You also get Galaxy Stones, Rising Weapon Badges, Class X Cubes, and multiple 13 star and above weapon drops. Now I understand this is a lot of information, but it's vital for you to pay attention to this, and I should keep this method in mind when you're doing this mining VRUQ. You cannot just expect a win by going blindly in, so please watch this video thoroughly, share this with your friends, so you too can finally get your hands on a Revalidate series weapon. Now this guy took hours and hours of failed runs and failed groups before we finally got a group of 12 together and finally reached that S rank. I took my time writing every failed rundown and every single mistake we had to bring you this guide. So please, if this video helped you out, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos. If you still need help with this method, I will be teaching others and doing a few runs on ship 1, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you all for tuning in and listening, and until next time.